One of my many fitness hot takes is that we should all prioritize strengthening our deep core, our inner unit, instead of doing all of those crunches and focusing on our rectus abdominis. So today I'm going to take you through some of my favorite deep core exercises. Something I always like to mention about the deep core is that it is one of the most misunderstood muscle groups. With misunderstanding comes misinformation. There are a lot of deep core exercises out there that aren't actually strengthening your deep core. So I want to take you through some of the fundamentals first, and then we're going to progress through some exercises. So first we're going to start off with some breathing, because that's where everything starts when it comes to Pilates. And that's something that a lot of people get wrong. So we'll start with what's called the pregnant cat, as we call it in the Pilates world. You'll find a quadruped position. I want you to find a good position where you feel supported from your knees and your wrists. From here, we're gonna find a big inhale. We're gonna create space in our trunk, so we're gonna expand through our ribs, expand through our back, find all the space that we can, and then we're gonna find a big exhale, and we're gonna draw everything in. So I want you to find that big inhale and big exhale. We'll do 4 more just like this. Big inhale and big exhale. It's almost like you had a full meal and you're kind of expanding into your belly as you inhale. And big exhale. We draw everything in. 2 more. Big inhale. And we find that big exhale. So you'll notice with this breathing, the shape of my spine is not changing at all. I'm keeping the shape of my spine really still, and this will be foundational to a lot of what we do today. Keeping the shape of my spine really still and just focusing on expanding through my trunk and then bringing everything together. Let's do 1 more for good measure. Big inhale and big exhale. We draw everything in, belly button comes towards our navel. And release. Excellent. So now another thing I want to talk about foundational wise before we get into the movements is what your spine will do through deep core work. It is really important, and what actually creates the strengthening of our deep core is how we stabilize our spine through that movement. And what's really important for us to understand is what neutral of our spine feels like, because that's what we're going to want to maintain through all of these exercises that we're doing. So first we're going to do some pelvic bowls. I want you to find a lying position where your ankles are right underneath your knee. I want you to imagine that you have a bowl on your hips here. So you have a bowl on your pelvis. Imagine that bowl is filled with water, and we want to dump that water back behind us. What we're going to do to dump that water back behind us is tilt our pubic bone up towards the sky, tuck, imprint that spine into our mat. Then when we find neutral, where that water isn't spilling out of our bowl, we'll return that pubic bone back down. If we wanted to go the other way, which you rarely will in Pilates, you would tilt that pubic bone down and you would create some space in between your low back. This is usually the positioning that we want to avoid, creating big space between our low back where we have that arch to our low back. We want to find that neutral position. Now our spines are all very different, so everyone's neutral will look a little different, but I want you to practice a few of these. I want you to tip that bowl back, pour that water onto your belly, and then tip that bowl forward. Tip that bowl back, and tip that bowl forward. Let's do 3 more together. Tip that bowl back, and tip that bowl forward. Last one, tip that bowl back, and tip that bowl forward. And now let's practice what that neutral feels like. From neutral, I want you to practice bracing through your core. This is what is going to support your spine most. So we're going to engage our abdominals. Again, engaging that deep core to support our spine best. Our transverse abdominis, which is known as the corset of your trunk. So I want you to think about drawing everything in. The best way to think about bracing your abdominals, when I reference bracing your abdominals, is you want to think about pulling your navel in towards your spine, keeping everything really tight. Another analogy I love to give people is, if you imagine if I was lying here and there was a toddler that was about to jump on my stomach, I would tighten to protect my internal organs. That's kind of what you're doing here. You're tightening in through your trunk. You're pulling everything in, but I can still breathe pretty well. I'm not sucking the air out of my trunk. I'm keeping everything so that I can breathe well, but I'm bracing to protect those organs. So I want you to practice a few of those together. So let's take a relaxed state down by our side with our arms, relaxed state with our trunk. We relax. Then I want you to find an exhale. I want you to draw everything in. Belly button comes in towards our spine on that exhale. And we brace here and we flex everything really tight. This for me is what a braced trunk feels like. If you poke yourself a little bit, you may feel like it's a little bit tighter than your trunk usually feels. So that's what we're aiming for. Let's do 2 more. We exhale, we find that brace. We exhale, we pull that belly button in towards our spine, keeping everything really tight. 1 more here. Exhale, pull everything in. So think about your braced core throughout some of the cueing that I'm going to do with you today through some of these exercises. So first up is one of my favorite deep core exercises. We're going to do what is called a dead bug. What I want you to do is raise your hands right above your shoulders and raise your knees into tabletop. For your knees in tabletop, we're gonna maintain a neutral spine, so we may have a little bit of space between our low back and the mat, but we're not arching. Remember, that bowl of water is flat, so none of it can spill. So I want you to find that tabletop position. Arms up, legs up in tabletop. From here, I want you to reach, right leg out, left leg goes behind. Reach, and come back to center. Same on the opposite side. We reach, and come back to center. Again, we reach, and come back to center. So if you remember, I mentioned everything about the deep core, and strengthening your deep core is how you stabilize your spine. If you were not bracing through your trunk, stabilizing your spine, my spine would be moving all crazy as I'm moving these arms and these legs. So I want you to continue thinking about keeping your spine really still, bracing everything in, keeping everything really tight. We reach opposite hand, opposite leg, and we bring it back. And we bring it back. And now let's sync it with our breath. Let's inhale as we go out. Exhale as we bring it up. Inhale as we go out. Exhale as we bring it in. Everything comes tight together. Inhale. Find that exhale. Inhale. And find that exhale. Awesome job. Let's bring those arms down by our side. I want you to maintain those toes in tabletop or those legs in tabletop. When I say tabletop, I mean you have a nice 90-degree bend. It usually means that your knees are right on top of your hips and your ankles are right in line with your knees. From here, I want your arms long by your side. We're gonna tap, maintaining a nice 90-degree bend to those knees. We're gonna tap, toes down, toes up. Toes down, toes up. Little taps each side. So now we're isolating, we've removed the arms from the equation, but we're still thinking about really focusing on the stabilization through our spine that we can get here. Little taps down. And I want you to think about activating through your lower abdominals. That is what is gonna help you bring your knees back up to your starting position. Little taps down, little taps up. Down and up. Down and up. Let's sync it with our breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And it's still, anytime I cue you for that inhale, exhale, it's still that diaphragmatic breathing. So think about going wide, big with that cavity of your trunk. As you open it up to bring that air in, deep exhale, everything comes out. So now let's place our feet down temporarily, wiggle out side to side as needed. Really important for you to listen to your body with this one. If you feel any discomfort in your low back, I want you to limit the range of motion and find a comfortable range of motion that doesn't irritate your low back. If you feel any of this in your low back, it usually has to do with either you're going beyond the point that your body is comfortable, or you may not be maintaining your neutral spine well. So you don't have that perfect neutral spine. Maybe you're letting that pelvis sink forward and back with our motion. So always remember, through all this deep trunk work that we're doing, this deep inner unit work that we're doing, think about stabilizing, keeping all this really rock solid. Next thing I want you to do, I want you to find a wide T shape with your hands here. We're gonna bring those legs back to tabletop. We're gonna isolate one leg at a time. Now we're gonna bring these legs away from our midline. I want you to take that right knee, it goes out to the side, don't let your body rock, squeeze to bring it back to center. Bring that left leg out to the side, squeeze to bring it back to center. And repeat. Out, squeeze to bring it back in, back out, squeeze to bring it back in. Really focus here. Keep anchoring through your sacrum or through your tailbone, through the back of your hips here. Keep your back glued to that mat. It's just opening up through your hips. Stabilize through your trunk, bring it in. Out and in. Let's sync it with that breath. Inhale, exhale, bring it in. Inhale, exhale, bring it in. Awesome work. Last one each side. And bring it in. We're gonna do one more move down on our back. This one is a little bit spicier. So we're gonna find that nice neutral position. I want you to lie yourself all the way down. From here, we maintain that neutral. We're gonna come up starting with our knees in tabletop. I want you to find an ab curl here. So I want you to lift yourself up and lower yourself down. We're gonna lift ourselves up. We're gonna lower ourselves down. Technically, this is a crunching motion, but we're just waking up to layer on this move. So we're waking up those upper abs to layer on here because we're gonna actually hold that lift. Let's find 4 more. We lift and we lower. For this one, to avoid neck strain, I want you to not think about lifting and pulling with your neck. We're really lifting with that upper chest. So we lift with that chest, we come up, and we bring it down. We lift it up. Let's do 4 more. And we bring it down. We lift it up, and down, up, and down. On the next one, we're gonna hold, and I want you to extend your legs. Now the key for this one, we're stabilizing through our trunk. We are only extending our legs as far out as we can maintain a neutral spine. Very important. For me, I can't get my feet all the way to the ground without letting my low back pop up. So I want you to think about it. It's okay if your legs can only stay right above your hips, but we're really focused here on going to find our limit, not surpassing our limit, finding that limit for our body, and making sure we're really stabilizing through that trunk. So, also, hair clips, always a bad idea for Pilates. If you notice, it's really elevating my head, but it's all I got today, so we're gonna work with it. So, we're gonna hold that lift here. We're gonna lower those legs down. Let's hold, and let's bring it in. Hold that lift. Lower those legs down, straighten out, and bring it in. Let's do 4 more. We reach, hold, and bring it in. We reach, hold, and bring it in. Reach, hold, and bring it in. Last one, reach, hold. Let's hold a little bit longer for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it down. Couple of things I want you to think about. We're gonna layer on one more move onto that, but I want you to think about keeping your ribs pulled in really tight. So you'll notice with that move, when it gets challenging, you try to open up through those ribs. I want you to keep everything pulled in as tight as you possibly can with that one. You're thinking about keeping that braced core to help us stabilize that spine. For the next one, we're gonna add in some motion, so it'll be even harder for your trunk to stay stable to support your spine. I want you to really pull everything in tight. All the pre-work that you did previous to this is what we're gonna use to apply for this move, because there's a lot going on at once. So I want you to find that curl. We lift ourselves up. We lower our legs down. You're gonna give me a little flutter. Let's flutter. And we can do little sipping breaths here. We reach, keeping my ribs pulled in, keeping my abs sunk in, belly button towards my spine. Give me 5, 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it in. Give yourself a second, massage, side to side. And let's come off our back and switch it up to do some more quadruped positioning. So you're gonna meet me on all fours for this one. Similar to the dead bug where we started today, I want you to think about stabilizing your spine, but now your body weight is in your hands and your knees. So you don't have the support of the floor. You really have to work to keep that core pulled in really tight to help your spine stay stable. Throughout all this motion, I'm not creating any arch, I'm not creating any round. My spine is staying perfectly neutral for me and my anatomy. So that's what I want you to think about. We are going to do opposite leg, opposite arm reaches. Let's find that neutral spine. Shake it out, find that neutral. Have your knees about hips width apart here. Tops of your feet can be rooted into the floor. We are gonna find that left hand. We're gonna extend that left hand out. We're gonna extend that right leg out behind us. Now, modification option, keep everything down to the floor and bring it down. If you want to challenge, you're gonna fully float that leg out. So whatever you wanna choose, let's do it together. Let's reach it out, hold tight, and bring it down. Challenge option here, stay in this hover. See how hard it is for me to not rock side to side? I want you to stay in this hover. So we reach, and we bring it down. We reach, and we bring it down. We reach, and we bring it down. Last 3, we reach, and we bring it down. Last 2, we reach, and we bring it down. Last one, let's hold it. Little reaches, little lifts. Try not to change the shape of your spine. Stabilize, root yourself through that left knee, through your right hand. We have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great for trunk stability, but you may also feel it in those glutes that are firing up with that leg lift. Whew. Give yourself a second. Well, let's shake it out. The sun is beaming on me, so I'm already sweating. Maybe you guys are feeling the warmth as well. So let's bring it back down. Now we're gonna stay on this same side. We're gonna add on here, because I love a good layer. We are going to take this quadruped position. I want you to reach your leg out. We're gonna hold. Give me a 2-second hold. 1, 2. Then I want your feet and hands to go out wide, come back to center. Hold, 1, 2. Out wide, back to center. Hold, 1, 2. Out wide, back to center. Trunk stays really tight, spine stays in neutral. Really fight for that stabilization. Modification option, we just go out and in. down, and in. But if you're sticking with it, give me 2 more here. We go out, we bring it in. Last one, and bring it in. Whew. And let's take it down. Now it's time for the other side. Let's do it. So we're here on all fours again. This time it is that right hand and it is that left leg that's gonna go out behind us. Whatever modification option you did on the other side, feel free to do it on this side as well. So let's reach it out and bring it in. So you have the option, back forward for modification, let it hover or let it rest in between. We reach, we stabilize. Think about corkscrewing that left hand in. Think about really reaching energy through that back leg as we reach it out. We have 4. We have 3. Keep that spine neutral. Keep everything pulled in. Big inhale, big exhale. 2. And 1. We hold. Little lifts. Lift. Don't change the shape of that spine. Keep those hip bones pointed down. Give me 3, 2, and 1. Brief pause in between. Shake it out, reset. Wag that tail a little here. And let's take it back. So now we're gonna go back to those extensions and reaches to the side. So we reach it up, hold 1, 2, we go out. We bring it back for 1, 2, we go out. We bring it back for 1, 2, we go out. Perfect, keep it here. We go back for 1, 2, we bring it out, back, and out. Inhale, bring everything to the midline. Last 2. Last 1. And bring it down. Whew. Give yourself a second here. Alrighty. Let's take a second, grab some water if you need it. We're gonna turn up the heat for these last couple. The first thing that we're gonna do is little bear holds. Now this one is a lot on the wrist, same with the next series that we're about to do here. So feel free as needed that you can fold your mat up to give your wrists a little bit more cushion. Personally love this mat because it easily folds like this. But what I want you to do here is find that quadruped position again here. We're gonna pop those knees up and we're gonna lower it down. Pop it up and lower. Trunk stays still. Body's moving, trunk stays really still. Remember, shape of your spine never changes. Anything that we're doing today. Give me 5. And if you can, stay in a hover. 4. Give me 3. Give me 2. Give me 1. Bring it down and rest. Okay, for our next hold, we're stabilizing through that trunk. Remember, belly button pulled in. I want you to walk your feet out, out, in. So we're gonna return to that hover, but we're actually gonna allow our legs to extend behind. We're not here for long. Bear with me, you got this. Take a quick breath here. Find that neutral, brace that core. Let's lift those knees up. Let's walk it out for 2. And back. So each set, each walk in counts as 1. 1, 2, back, 1, 2, 1, 2, back, 1, 2. Corkscrew those hands in. Keep those abs engaged. Lift through your tailbone. Try to keep your body in as much of a tabletop position as you can. Give me 3 more walks in and out. That's 2. Last 1. And break. Give yourself a second. Shake it out. We're gonna do one last thing on these wrists while we're here. We're gonna go full plank. Option to take it down to your forearms if you feel like your wrists need a little bit of a break here. So I think I'm gonna opt for forearms. My wrists are having a hard time, so feel free, go hands or go elbows. But what I want you to do is find a nice plank position. We're gonna find that plank position. We go all the way out here. We hold that plank. Give me a plank hold for 10. We have 9, 8, core pulled in tight. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the next one, we tap it out, bring it in. Hips stay still. Don't let that pelvis rock. We're tapping side to side. You got this. It's brutal. I'm right there with you. Excuse the heavy breathing. Whew. Just so you know, we're all human, just like me. I'm no superhuman. I struggle in my Pilates classes, just like you guys. Give me 2 more taps each side. 2, 1, and bring it in and down. Whew. Shake it out. I am dripping. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sweating. I am feeling it for sure. We are almost through. We're saving the best for last. grab some water, and let's get into it. Y'all, my camera just overheated, so clearly I'm not the only one working hard, but we're back in action. So for the next moves, I want you to find a reverse plank position. Now this one's tough on the shoulders. If you have any shoulder injuries, I would recommend skipping it. You can go down to your forearms and do something very similar, but ideally you want your fingertips towards your glutes. You're gonna find your heels to the floor and you're gonna lift your hips up. I want you to hold this plank for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. On the next one, I want you to drive one knee in at a time while holding this lifted position. We're gonna find that lift, root yourself through that heel, we're gonna reach it out. Lift and reach. Again, stabilizing through that trunk. We're trying to make sure those hips aren't floating around as we're bringing those knees in and out. I want you to keep and maintain that lift. You drive one knee in, give me 5 on each side. You lift. That's 5. We have 4, we reach. Lift a little higher. We have 3, together we got this. We have 2, so strong. Lift, I can feel myself sinking, but I'm gonna push hard for the last one. Lift it up, bring it down, and rest. Give yourself a second, shake it out. We're gonna go back to our wrists in the reverse position, except this one's gonna get our heart rate up a little bit more. And I want you to think about, again, trying to minimize how much that trunk is swinging back and forth, how much your spine is moving here. We're gonna do opposite toe tap reaches. So let's find that reverse position. We're gonna sit ourselves down. I want you to find this kind of crab position here, where your feet are down. We're gonna reach, lift, bring it down. Reach, lift, bring it down. Stabilizing when we come down. If we weren't stabilizing through our trunk, we'd be flying around here. I want you to really keep everything pretty solid. Movement is minimal. Only move is the reach to your toes. We're gonna do 6 each side. 6, bring it up. Lift. And lift. Woo. Use that trunk. 4, 4. We have 3. We have 3. We have 2. Big lift, 2. Last one together, we lift high, keep that trunk tight, and bring it down. Whew, and give yourself a second. Let's fold in half, let's reach for those ankles. I always like to finish a lot of my classes with a nice core burner, so there's one last core move I wanna do together. Once you catch your breath, grab some water as needed. We're gonna find our elbows, so we are finally off of those wrists. We're gonna find our elbows, and we're gonna find a butterfly position with our feet. So we're gonna meet our feet together. Really ideally, toes are connected. From here, from this position, keeping our spine long, keeping our trunk active, belly button pulled in towards our spine, we're lifting those toes up, dropping them down. Lift and drop. Lift, give me 4 more, and drop. Lift and drop. I lied, let's do 8 more. And drop. That's 7. Last 6. Last 5. Slow and controlled, keep everything tight. 4. 3. Let's find that 2. And let's find that 1. And let's bring it down. One last move here, one of my favorites. We're gonna do a double knee stretch. So I want you to find, like we started, we're ending the same way. We're having that ab curl, that lift to our chest. We're gonna find a tabletop position with our knees. We're gonna lift, we reach and bring it in. We reach and bring it in. Stay lifted. Reach and bring it in, give me 4 more. I don't know why I keep lying about these numbers. 14 more is what I meant to say. 3, 2. If you've taken class with me in person, see how I just counted 2? What am I even saying? I usually gauge it based on how challenged you feel, so I'll add some numbers if you're looking like it's too easy, but these are virtual. I can't see you guys, so we gotta go with what we got. 15 sounded like a better number. I think we're on like 6 more. Let's leave it there. 4, leave it all on the mat. Let's lift that chest up. Last 3, last 2, and 1, bring it in. Rest it down. Let's massage through that low back. Whew. Love it or hate it, deep core is such a necessary evil. Felt good to move my body in that way. I hope you guys enjoyed today's workout. I will definitely be posting more of these, so drop some feedback, routines you'd like to see in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, and I hope to see you guys again soon.